Welcome back to Messier Than Expected. My name is Melissa. This is my co-host Marissa. Welcome to episode 2. And episode 2 is this week. I realized I deserve better. So our episode description for this week: sometimes life gives you a moment that forces you to level up. And this week we each had one. We're unpacking the red flags that we ignored, the patterns we're done repeating, and what better actually looks like in motherhood and in relationships. Welcome to Messier Than Expected. Hi, Marissa.
Hello, Melissa.
How are you? How was your week?
Oh, it's crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, we had a tough week over here too. I think it was like a full moon or something, which seems to make everything much more difficult.
Full moon with a group of kindergartners that are fresh off a break.
Sounds like a good time over in your world for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So this week, I think that there was definitely a moment where it clicked for me that I have been putting up with less than what I expected for a while. And I had that moment this week that I've briefly spoken about a little bit that really forces you to level up. So I feel like you have that situation where you're like going through something and you keep making excuses for people. And then one day something happens and suddenly your brain is like, I think that I actually deserve better than this. And it's that moment of clarity that like washes over you like cold water in the ocean. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. And there's no going back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So for me, this week, I had a situation with my son where I had to take him to the emergency room. He was sent to the emergency room by our pediatrician, and I went by myself, just me and my son. And it was just like a really long night of being dismissed by doctors, being dismissed by loved ones, being dismissed by like the people who are there who are supposed to care for your child. And it's so frustrating to be sitting in that moment and feeling like you're doing everything alone and you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. And it's still like you're still being treated poorly. And I had that moment this week where I was like, wait a second, like I deserve respect. I deserve support. I deserve acknowledgement. Like here I am, just a mom trying to take care of a sick kid on my own. And I had that moment where I was like, this is not how this should be going at all.
It's really bad when it's the people that are supposed to be there to like literally take care of your kid. And you're like, why am I trusting you with my kid's care? Like you're not helping me at all.
Not at all. And it's so frustrating. And I got a survey that I'm going to fill out about our experience that I had, but just the experience there then like trying to communicate everything that was going on was a moment for me where I was like, this is not the way that this is supposed to go. And I feel like I've always been really good at advocating for my children. And in this moment this week, it kind of showed me that the advocating that I'm doing for my children is advocating that I should be doing for myself too. And it was an aha moment where I was like, I wouldn't let somebody treat my child or my children this way, but I let people treat me however they want to. And it was that moment for me this week where I was like, no, like I am going to stand my ground. I am going to refuse to leave this hospital. I am going to demand the care for my son. That I was like, wait a second, like would I do the same for myself? Because I think probably not.
That's valid.
So it was a bit of an awakening for me where I was just kind of like, I think that I need to be taking care of myself the same way that I'm taking care of my kids.
Absolutely.
So that was the awakening that I had this week. And it's a tough one because I feel like I pride myself on being a good mom. And like if I know that I'm capable of doing those things because I do them for other people, it's like a roadblock of, well, why aren't I doing them for myself too, you know?
Yeah, because it's like that shift. It's like the I'm done. I don't deserve this. Moving on, you know. For me, mine this week was definitely like I just have always felt from a like for a long time, like I just always feel like I'm hard to love. And these little things that people have done for me, you people in our friend group, and then my other friends from over here in good old South Central, you know, checking in, like making me feel like I'm not hard to love. I'm just like begging to be loved by the wrong people. And that's a really hard thing to like come to terms with.
That is that is such a hard thing because
Yeah.
I feel so similar in the sense that like I don't like it when people don't like me. It makes me very uncomfortable.
Right.
And literally today alone I described myself as being just a lover girl. Like I just want to love everybody. I want to be friends with everybody. I want to get along with everybody.
But unfortunately, not everyone wants to be friends.
No. I have been finding that out the hard way over the last couple of weeks that not everybody wants to be my friend and people might uh act like they're my friend and then turn out to not be
Well,
my
and at the
friend.
end of the day, all that matters, and the thing that I keep in my mind now, like my coping thing has been like, why do I care? Because like all I care about is like, do my kids like me? Does my husband like me? Everyone else is just a bonus. But like, stop begging people that aren't worthy of your love and they don't deserve your friendship. So like, why do you care if they like you? Because like you don't even really want to be friends with them. You just want them to like you.
Yeah.
And so then I try really hard to make them like me, and then they still don't like me, and I'm like, okay, but is it a me problem, or do they not like themselves? Yikes.
Yikes. Oh my gosh.
Not a me
I mean,
problem.
so with any big realization like that comes like what you have to decide moving forward. So last week we talked about setting boundaries and not falling into old patterns. And this week with this moment that I had, I was kind of like, okay, well, I need to recognize these patterns that I've been falling into because I'm still falling into them. Like I'm a work in progress and I'm going to continue to be a work in progress and it's not ever going to be perfect. And like even if I say like, oh, I'm setting boundaries and oh, I'm doing these things to move forward and I am acknowledging that these are issues that I have. I know that I need to identify specific patterns that have been troublesome for me before. So I've started to think about some of those patterns that I should not be entertaining anymore as I'm on this journey to like love myself and protect my peace. And last week we talked a lot about the peace that we paid for and how peace isn't free and the just the cost of rediscovering yourself. So I wanted to talk about some of the patterns that I have identified that right now I'm pledging that I'm no longer entertaining these patterns. And this might have been one of the hardest moments of reflection that I had this week. Because patterns are comfortable, right? Like they're familiar things and you can feel safe within patterns that you've been repeating. But I think it's a good thing that I go to therapy on Friday mornings because it preps me so much for these sessions where I'm like doing work in therapy and then I'm like diving into it in our podcast.
Empowered woman.
Nobody mess with me on a Friday, okay? Because
Friday, she is it. Come see her on a Thursday.
yeah, right? Fridays, I'm the it girl. If you see me on a
Friday
Thursday,
morning.
I'm talking about you in therapy on Friday. Just so you know, if you're mean to me on a Thursday, my therapist knows your name. So let's get that straight right away. But I wanted to identify some of these patterns that I've been in before that I need to have this mindset shift where I am no longer entertaining these patterns. So I'm going to share them with you. The very first one is something that I'm so bad at. And it's in all areas of my life, like relationships, friendships. And that is that I have a tendency to confuse inconsistency with mystery. And what I mean by that is if someone is inconsistent with me, inconsistent with communication, inconsistent with respect, inconsistent with love, I will confuse that with mystery and be like, oh, well, maybe this is happening, or maybe this is a reason for that. Or maybe, I don't know, anything could be going on with this other person. And I find myself making a lot of excuses for why other people are inconsistent with me. And I'm the one who's getting hurt in the end because I'm making excuses for other people, presenting those excuses to other people, defending their behavior, forgiving these patterns. And then in the end, I'm still the one that's sitting here without any kind of consistency in a relationship, in communication, in affection, in love, in anything, because I make so many excuses for other people's inconsistency.
Yep.
So that's something that I decided I cannot do anymore. Like if somebody is consistently inconsistent with me, then that's my answer.
Keep going. Give us
Like
those patterns.
I need to not seek answers where I'm not being given one, because I feel like relationships are a team thing. Partnerships are a team thing. Friendships are a team thing. The phone works both ways. And I've always been the person that would reach out and check on other people. And I am in one of the most difficult seasons of my life right now. And I've made it very clear that I have a lot going on. And I stopped reaching out to people.
The inconsistency is a period, not a comma.
Yeah.
The silence is a period, not a comma.
And I always would just think that like I could convince someone to change their mind, or I could convince someone to love me the way I deserve to be loved, or I could convince someone to communicate with me the way that I want to be communicated with. And I would take their inconsistencies, confuse it with mystery, and tell myself that they're the one that's confused. And that's not true. So that's one of the things that like I don't want to fall back into that pattern.
What's next? What other patterns do we got?
So following up on that, this one's a big one for me, and that is accepting apologies without any changed behavior. Because I always have said, like, I was a second grade teacher for so long, and I would tell my kids all the time that an apology without changed behavior is just manipulation.
I teach my kindergartners to say, thank you for the apology. Don't do it again. Don't say it's okay, because it's not okay. Thank you for the apology. Do not do it again.
And part of apologizing for something is like, it's almost like a vow to know better and to do better moving forward. So I would be in this pattern of consistently being hurt by people the same way over and over and over again. And each time they would be like, oops, sorry. And I'd be like, oh, thank you for your apology. Like, we're going to move on now. And then the same thing would happen again. Oops, sorry. And I'd be like, okay, like, we're going to move on now, because I have this deep-rooted fear of people not liking me. I have this deep-rooted fear of abandonment, where if I'm setting boundaries and if I'm requiring things from people and if I have expectations, if I'm holding people accountable for that and expecting them to like reach this bar, if they don't reach it, then like, where does that leave me? But what I'm starting to recognize is like, those aren't the kind of people that I need to have around me.
Because life's short and then you die. So spend it with who's actually important.
Brings me to the next pattern that I'm trying to break. And that is putting myself last and putting everybody else before me. I am a caretaker at my core, and I feel like I still fight to show up for and to motivate everybody, even people that have shown me before that they don't deserve me or they don't want me, or I don't need to be doing for them the way that I'm doing for them. I'm still checking in and making sure that they're okay when I feel like my world is falling apart. So I have been putting myself last for so long that now that I'm finding people in my life who should be in my life, who deserve to be in my life, who are like putting me first, I don't know how to accept that. And I have a hard time like accepting love and genuine care and affection.
No.
Because I'm like, what's in it for you? Or like, what are you going to hold over my head later?
Is it transactional? It's like, oh, I did this for you, so now you have to do this for me.
Very transactional. And that's what I'm afraid of.
The $10 Dunkin' gift card was not transactional. Buy the bagel.
That's still sitting in our text thread.
Buy the bagel.
So that's what I know that I shouldn't rely on or count on other people to put me first, because like they should be putting themselves first, right? Like they tell you to put your oxygen mask on before you put anybody else's oxygen mask on. I would be the person that's like up and down the aisle of the plane. Like, is everybody okay? And that, like, I'm burnt out. I'm so burnt out. And I've reached like the end of my rope. Like I am standing on the cliffside.
And it's not fair to our kids. That's where like motherhood really changed everything.
Yeah.
Like, because when you're burnt out and you're like, but I still have to be a mom. I still have to make the meals, do the laundry, clean the house. Like the things still have to be done. And
I'm like having a hard time doing them because I just want to rot because I'm so burnt out. Because of my fourth pattern that I'm trying to break.
Give it to us.
Begging for clarity from people who enjoy the confusion. Mm-hmm. Which goes hand in hand with confusing inconsistency with mystery. Because, like you said, it's a period, it's not a comma, it's not a semicolon, it's
hard stop.
If you are somebody who enjoys the inconsistency, if you are someone who enjoys the confusion, if you are someone who enjoys the back and forth, I have begged and begged and begged. And I think I mentioned this last week that I said everything that I've ever lost has claw marks on it and I don't have a scratch on me. I have never had somebody like beg for me in any sense, not in a relationship, not in a friendship, not in family, not in anything. I've never made a decision to walk away from someone, which is obviously a really difficult decision to make, right? Like that doesn't come easy to have a person who's been in your life for however long to say like, this isn't serving me anymore. And I don't want to do this anymore. Not once in my life has that person been like, I don't want to accept that as an answer. Like, I don't want to see you go. I will put in work to be a better partner or a better friend or a better family member. Like, not once where I've made that decision that's like, this relationship is no longer serving me, has that person begged for me back. But when I find that people are pulling away from me, I am the one who begs. And I'm the one that begs for an answer. And I'm the one that begs for clarity. And it's people who thrive in that confusion and who don't know what they want or don't know how to behave or don't know how to treat me that are content and comfortable in that space. So I'm the one reaching out. I'm the one asking questions and I'm the one on my knees begging when they're just chilling.
Yeah.
And it's a hard realization to come to where like I have this moment where I'm fighting with doctors and I'm arguing with nurses and I'm refusing to leave the hospital and I'm on and off the phone where I'm like, the way that I am acting right now for my son, I would never do any of these things for myself because I don't want to be the loud one, or I don't want to be the emotional one, or I don't want to cause waves, or I don't want to make people uncomfortable. Like, for what?
I mean, I'm the same way, kind of.
But it's that moment of like realizing this week I realized I deserved better because I deserve better, one, but my kids deserve better because now my kids have a mom who is overextended, and my kids have a mom who is burnt out, and my kids have a mom who spends time being confused and begging for basic human decency and love and respect and attention and affection. And I can't pour into them as much as I need to because I'm busy pouring into people who are soaking the life out of me.
Which brings me to my pattern of
Okay,
being, which is being comfortable in the chaos because I don't want to make the waves of, ruffling the feathers and making people upset by my boundaries. And I'm like, at some point, it's like, I saw this in a meme earlier this week and I like wrote it down so I didn't forget it. It was like about, I have to stop accepting crumbs when I deserve a meal. Like, I am deserving, I am worthy. Like, people will love me for me and people won't love me for me, and that's okay. I need to stop putting my energy into those relationships and put my energy into the relationships of people that will fight for me, that will leave claw marks on me, like the people who would actually hate to see me leave their life, because so many people have just been like, deuces, and that hurts. But then at the same time, like I said, life's short and then you die, so it's like, who cares? Like, as long as I spend my days alive loving the people that deserve to be loved and be loved by the people that love me. So,
well, I think it's so hard when there are people that you love that just don't love you back the way that you love them.
and unfortunately, that's when you have to make a decision of, do I stick around because I love them or do I just love them from a distance? Like,
and that for me is like this week I realized I deserved better because I've been loving all of these people who don't love me back.
You're like, I don't wish ill will on you, but you're not welcome at my table anymore. Because like, I'm not going to keep choosing the same situations and think that anything is ever going to result differently. Like, it's not. Like, to stay in the chaos and the dysregulation, it's not good for us. It's not good for our kids.
No, because like, I feel like once you become a mom, and I haven't been a mom as long as you have, but I've been a mom for, over 4 years now. I feel like you start to see things differently because now I feel like my kids deserve the mom who's not being drained by other people. My kids deserve the mom who isn't giving so much to other people who don't deserve me, because whatever I'm giving to other people, like, there's only so much of you. You can only take so much. You can only pour from a cup for so long. You can only give slices of yourself away to other people. So here I am, like, pouring out of myself into other people who don't deserve me, who straight up show me, like, I'm not interested in you or a friendship with you or a life with you. Like, I am straight up not interested. And here I am still begging for clarity, making excuses, confusing the inconsistencies, and it's taking away from my kids because what I'm giving to other people, I'm not giving to my kids. And I started thinking over the last couple of weeks, looking at like the situation that my life is in and the way that things are going for me, and I thought to myself, is this life the life that I would want for my children? Would I want my daughters to accept the treatment that I'm accepting from other people? Would I want my daughters to allow themselves to be treated the way that other people are treating me? If I saw some of these things that have happened to me happen to my daughters, would I be okay with that? And the answer is no. And it changes your whole mindset. And the same for my son. Like, would I want my son to treat other people this way? Would I want my son to think this is how I should behave because society says this is how a man should act? or that a man shouldn't be in tune with their emotions, or a man shouldn't have feelings. Like, would I want my son to enter into a friendship with somebody and behave that way, or enter into a relationship with someone and behave that way? And the answer is no. And in that moment, it changes my whole mindset. That's like, if I wouldn't allow that for my children, and I would be unhappy if that was the life that my children were living, then why am I okay with it when it's the life that I'm living? Because they're watching me, and they're seeing everything that I'm doing, and they're seeing that I'm accepting that, and they're growing up and they're watching that. And then they're going to grow up and think like, oh, well, this is what my mom did, so this is how it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And I just feel like these days, my emotional budget has been so low. All of my budgets have been so low, let's be real. But like, my emotional budget is so low that, as careful as I am, like, with my finances, is how careful I need to be with myself. And if I'm spending my money carefully, like, I should be spending my emotional budget just as carefully, because I'm giving away chunks of myself to other people who don't deserve them. And then I'm sitting here confused why, like, nobody's giving chunks back to me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, it takes away from me and it takes away from my kids.
Yeah, and our kids, they don't listen at all, period. But what they do is they vibe and they absorb off of you, because the stress and the chaos and the inconsistency, it's not acceptable. And when I had my son, who we all know by now is autistic and has ADHD, he is very like hyper aware of me and my regulation. And so when I'm dysregulated, he's dysregulated, his nervous system's all out of whack, and my chaos becomes his. And it's like, you can't do this anymore, because motherhood demands a healthier version of you. It's not just physically, but mentally. You have to be strong, because your kids, one, will beat you down.
But you're not actually kidding, though.
I'm not actually kidding. They will beat you down. Like, it's mental warfare raising children. And if you're not mentally healthy, Godspeed, because woof. But the standard has to be higher.
It does have to be higher. And I think that, like, the biggest shift that I've had personally is, like, I always knew that I deserved better, right? Like, I always knew that, like, the way that this person's treating me is not okay. And I wouldn't treat somebody that way. You know, the golden rule, like, treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And I've known that for my whole life. But it's like, very recently I've had this shift where I finally believe that. Like, for so long I knew that I deserved better, but I would be like, I don't know, like, maybe I deserve better, but like, there's also that voice that's like, oh, well, maybe you don't. Like, maybe you get exactly what you deserve. Maybe the universe settles the score. Maybe what you give is what you get. But this shift for me lately is like, no, I deserve better. I know I deserve better. I believe I deserve better. I'm going to seek better for myself. I'm going to no longer accept less than better. And once you start believing that you deserve better, and you start setting those boundaries, and you stop falling into those same patterns, the people who can't meet you at better, like, if you're raising the bar and you're like, I need you to be here to continue to be a part of my life, the people who can't meet you there start falling away and start disappearing and stop coming back around and stop living in confusion and stop living in chaos. And honestly, good. Because for so long, I was devastated over losing people in my life, losing friendships, losing relationships, that I would go back and I would beg and I would claw and I would confuse and I would accept the inconsistency and I would make excuses and I would live in mystery. But now I'm like, good. If you can't level up, if you can't keep up, if you can't meet me where I am, good. Like, I'm glad that you're gone, because healing isn't about, like, just who I'm becoming now. Healing is about not entertaining all of the inconsistencies and all of the disrespect and everything along the way that I have experienced to get to this point. Like, I'm saying goodbye to that person and to the things that I used to allow to happen, because now, like, I have known forever that I deserve better, but now I'm believing, like, no, like, you actually don't have to live in that chaos anymore. Like, you don't have to put up with those things anymore.
Yeah. Motherhood definitely shifts everything because, like, your kids deserve you to be consistent and calm and present with your cup filled, not because you're pouring into everyone else's and your standard needs to be higher, because the emotional stability is like a requirement. It's not a preference. Like, it's like on when you go to apply for a job and they're like, oh, like, we would prefer it. No, it's required because you'll lose your mind if you don't like get it together. Like, you have to stop fostering and watering those relationships they're dead rooted. You can't bring them back to life. They're done. It's a period, not a comma.
And I think that that's something that like I said, everything in my life has claw marks on it where I'm like, I want to better myself, but I also want to bring you along with me. Like, I don't want to leave people behind that I have taken in as my people, that I have looked after, that I have cared about. Like, I don't want to leave you behind. I want you to level up with me. But until those people are willing to acknowledge and accept that, like, I want better for myself and I deserve better for myself, and you're going to be part of the equation where I'm not going to tolerate the disrespect, the inconsistency, the confusion. Like, I want to bring those people with me, but if they don't want to, like, play by the rules of the game that I'm setting, like, there's nothing that I can do about it. And that's a hard realization to come to, especially when it's friends that you thought would be there forever, or family, especially, that I'm like, I cannot continue to let you drag me down, because it's not just me anymore. Like, you're sinking the ship with my children in it.
Some people are committed to doing better than you, one-upping you. We have a couple of those in our lives personally, my husband and I. It's like, it's no matter what you do, oh, it's better for us. We do this better. And I'm like, I don't care what anyone does. I'm hyping up everybody. We're happy. Our kids are healthy. We're good. Life is not a competition anymore to me. I used to feel that way. I just don't care anymore. As long as I have my kids and Phil, as long as I have my kids, really.
Well, I try to be that way too, and I'm very much so, like, an everybody eats kind of person, and there's room for everybody, and everybody can be successful. But I feel like I've found myself being on the sidelines rooting for other people who have never been rooting for me, and have never wanted good for me, and have never
rooting for
like
your downfall.
Rooting for my downfall. And I would consider them to be in my inner circle.
And the funniest thing is, you're not downfalling.
Well, that's debatable.
Okay, in here, you've made a beautiful community that I'm so proud to be a part of. So many people tank out, and you have just been thriving on here. You have all these people who care about you. Life is about more than people who don't matter anymore. Let them go.
And that's the thing, is like, those people continue to reveal themselves. And I need to accept when they're being revealed, because that's like, so that's one of my biggest problems, is like, the universe shows me a lesson, and it's like I have my blinders on where I'm like, la 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 la, you can't see me, you can't catch me, and I'm not acknowledging you. And what I have discovered is that the universe is going to keep repeating the same lesson to you until you get it. Like, the universe is going to show it to you. There's going to be some divine intervention. Like, you are going to be shown a lesson, shown a path, shown a way of doing things. And if you don't accept that as the answer and as the truth, like, it's going to keep showing up, and it's going to keep reappearing, and it's going to keep being a message, and it's going to show up in different bodies until you decide you're done and you want to learn the lesson and you want to move forward. It's like, it's the same storyline, but a different cast, and you're having deja vu, and you're like, oh, why is this so familiar? It's because you're still reading the same book. Like that chapter ended, but this chapter starting with the same storyline. It's the same plot, and you didn't close the chapter. You just turned the page. So here I'm sitting here, and it's like person after person after person is put in my life, hurting me the same way, doing the same thing over and over again. And every time a new person shows up, I'm like, hi, I'm Melissa. It's nice to meet you. And I'm going to put you before myself, and I'm going to love you a way that you've never been loved before, and I'm going to take care of you in a way that nobody's ever taken care of you, and I'm going to do all these things for you, and I'm going to make your life so easy that you don't have to do anything, and I will do everything for you, and then you're going to expect it of me, and then I'm going to be standing here like, oh my God, why do I have to do everything for everyone all the time? Why doesn't anyone do anything for me? And then I have a conversation with somebody where I'm like, hey, I think that like the division of our relationship or our friendship is a little bit unfair. And I think that like I'm showing up with like 90, 100% all the time. And I feel like you're showing up with like 0 to 10% all the time. And I'm having a really hard time with it. And I don't think that I can continue this way. And then I'm the bad guy.
They're like, whoa, what?
And it keeps happening over and over again because I see that, I acknowledge that, I have a conversation about it, but I don't change what I'm doing. I'm not changing my behavior. I'm not changing my mindset. I'm just moving on to the next character in the book. And then I'm in this same position. It's like Groundhog Day, where I'm like, here I am again, pouring my whole heart and soul into a friendship or into a relationship or into a family member, where I'm not getting it back. I'm not getting the same kind of treatment back. I'm not getting the same respect back. I'm not getting the same care and concern back. And then I'm like confused why it ended the same way the last one did. And I'm like, why are you confused?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Why are you confused by that? You've seen this show.
Is this play about us?
Is this play about us?
It's like you have to decide that you want to end the pattern. The universe will listen. Your life will listen. Your future self is just like, oh my God, thank God she's finally not being a dumb bitch. But it's like these patterns, like they don't repeat to punish you. They repeat to like wake you up and be like, you dumb hoe. You deserve good things. Like stop blaming bad luck and see that like the universe is not working against you. It's just trying to show you to stop accepting less than what you deserve, because you deserve good things. You deserve people to want you, to claw into you and not let you go.
Well, it's so hard. And like, maybe I don't think I'm innocent here, right? Because like everybody that I'm meeting, I'm an adult. So like people that I'm meeting at this stage in my life, like you've lived your whole life without me. Like most of the people that I'm having these experiences with are older than I am. Like you've been fine since before I was alive, but I am such a giver and I am such a caretaker in my core that I show up in the lives of these people and it's like I suck all your problems out of you and I want to take the hurt away from everybody and I want to solve everybody's problems and I want you to be in a place where like you're happy, you're comfortable, you're content, you don't have to worry about anything. I want to fix everything for you. Because the people that I love, like I never want you to feel bad things. I never want bad things to happen to you. I never want you to have a negative emotion. If there's something that I can do to soften a blow for you, I'm going to soften the blow for you. Like I will put myself in the line of fire for other people. And then they learn to expect that from me. And they learn to take advantage of that part of me. So I pour myself in to people and I pour myself into relationships and I pour myself into friendships where then they get so comfortable letting me do all the things and letting me take all the blows and letting me be the bad guy and throwing me under the bus, where the day that I wake up and I'm like, I am not having a good time. I don't think that I want to do this anymore. All of a sudden it's like, I can't believe that you're acting this way. And I can't believe that like, you're not going to do these things anymore and you're not going to show up this way anymore. And you are such a horrible person for leaving me here to figure this out by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this week where like I'm sitting there and I'm fighting for my son, where I'm like, nobody fights for me this way. Nobody would do the things that I do. Like the way that I fight for my children is the way that I fight for everybody that I care about. And when you have that realization where like I've had a long shitty day and I'm sitting here by myself and nobody would show up for me the way that I'm showing up for other people. And not nobody, because I have met some really fantastic people that are starting to show me like the reciprocity that should be in these relationships that I am scared of and that I don't know how to accept because it feels transactional, like you said.
Like a setup.
Yes, like a setup where I'm like, what do you mean like you want to do things for me? What do you mean you're asking if there's anything that you can do for me? What do you mean you want to buy my bagel? Like,
I just want to buy your bagel.
I don't know how to accept that, where I'm like, this now makes me uncomfortable because I don't know how to accept that, and I don't know how to be the one that's taken care of.
Well, get over it, baby. Because I'm going to be buying your bagels.
Oh my God, you don't have to buy my bagels. That's
I'm
just
buy
like,
your bagels every day forever.
You don't have to buy my bagels. But like I've always been that kind of person. For as long as I can remember, I've always taken care of other people. And then I became a mom. So obviously I'm taking care of my kids. Like I'm doing everything that my kids need. But I'm finding myself being so stretched thin and so burnt out that I feel like it gets more and more difficult. Like something's got to give somewhere. And I refuse to let it be my kids or let it be my relationship with my kids because I'm pouring myself out into other people and other places that like don't deserve my time and my attention.
Yeah.
And that was like a big realization for me this week where I was like, hold up. I deserve so much better than this. I deserve so much better than this.
Yes, you do.
So I feel like this week humbled me, but it reminded me that I deserve much better than I've ever accepted before. And even though I've been humbled, it's like a good humble where I'm like, okay, like I can work from this and I can build from this.
Yeah.
So that's my plan moving forward. And we're going to hold each other accountable for those things because it's hard and it's scary. And it's like, I've been in a pattern for so long where this is the life that I've lived and this is what I've been comfortable with, that like, it's scary to do something new.
It's hard to break out of that mold, for sure.
But I know that I deserve better. I believe I deserve better. And I know that my children deserve a mom who can pour into them first and foremost the way that I've been pouring into other people.
Definitely going to hold each other accountable for this.
But we're not just holding each other accountable. We are holding all of our listeners accountable too. So we have reached the time of night where you guys are getting a homework assignment. So your soft girl homework for the week. I hope everybody is ready. Get out your paper, get out your pencil, because it is pop quiz time and you have a homework assignment. So what I want you to think about this week until next week, and you can share it with us. You can leave it in our comments. You can share it with a friend. You can message it to us. I want you to do it for yourself. Your homework assignment for the next week is I want you to write down one standard that you want to raise in your life right now. It can be a boundary that you want to set, it can be an expectation for yourself, or it can be a need that you have. But I want you to think about a standard in your life that you want to level up. That's the first thing. That is the first step. And the first thing that I want you to do is to come up with that standard in your life that you are deciding, this week I deserve better. And this is something that I'm no longer going to tolerate, to accept, to live with, to put up with. Come up with the standard that you want to raise. That's step one. Once you have figured out what that standard is, then I want you to take a moment and envision what your life would look like when you set that standard and when you raise that bar in your life. I want you to envision what that looks like for you. And if you are having this realization, I deserve better, what does better look like for you? Not for your partner, not for your friends, not even for your children, not for your family, not for society. What does better look like for you? So you're deciding on that standard. You are setting that boundary, that expectation, that need that you have. And then what does that look like moving forward? How is that better for you, and how is your life going to change? And that's the homework that we are assigning to you this week. And you can keep it to yourself. You can share it in our comments. You can message it to us. But we want you to identify something that can be better for you and what it'll look like once it is actually better. So that is your homework for this week. I want to thank you so much for joining us for episode 2 of Messier Than Expected. We love you so much. We thank you for being here. We hope to see you back for episode 3. Marissa, are there any other words that you would like to leave us with tonight?
Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. And we hope to see you soon. We love you so much.